Cool. So how are you?
I'm doing well today. I
Good.
just woke up, took care of my kids, just
Yeah.
sewing right now. Been sewing for the last hour or so.
Sewing?
Yeah.
Cool. Is it like some of your merchandise I've seen?
Yeah, I'm working on a hoodie right now. I pretty much always have a project to be doing, which is
Yeah.
nice.
That's awesome. Do you want to share what you have? I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
yeah, for sure. Hang on, let me lay it flat so I can.
Yeah.
This one is going to Germany.
Oh,
Let me
that's
see
cool.
here.
That's dope.
Yeah,
I like that.
we got the giraffe patch. I'm just doing like
The sun.
doing some good layering on here. We got the pocket on the pocket.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, I
That's
like
really
this one.
cool.
And you
How long
may
have you
you may have seen this one I posted yesterday. The
Yeah, I
the
think I
the,
did
the
actually.
tarot garden one. This one's going to Oregon.
That's cool. Well, you just made another sale because now I want one. I'll have to look and
Oh
see what you got.
yes. Yeah, so I all the orders that I do, you just
Uh-huh.
message me, you tell me your size, you tell me the color, and then I just channel it for you. So I don't
Oh,
even I don't even have a website right now. I just pretty much sell it all that way
yeah.
because
I mean, you
everything's
don't even
made to
need to
order.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything is made to order. So of
awesome. Okay, well, cool. So first, I just want to thank you for coming on. I came
course.
across your page, I think like into last year, and I'm like, man, like this is cool. You were playing the flute and like did all the like. I'm into numerology, and then like
Oh
you did like
yeah.
the light language and
Yes,
anything that's like super creative and spiritual. I'm like really drawn to.
for sure.
And the most killer thing is like your sense of humor is hilarious.
Oh, thanks.
Um, I have, like, the same kinda twisted, dark sense of humor, but people don't assume that I do, and so I will, like, click through your stories just cracking up all day. So
Yeah, it's got to be a balance, because
yeah,
I'm doing some deep work on my page with my vibrations and music. You gotta can't all
yeah,
be so serious all the
I
time.
know. So, um, first off, I just kinda wanted to talk about, like, your music,
Yeah, of
'cause
course.
again, that's one of the things that drew me in and got my attention. So tell me a little bit, like, your background, how you got started, what
Of
interested you in
course.
it.
Of course. Okay, so a little bit of my background, how I got started. Man, I always um have a challenge with this question because I'm never sure how far to go back, but I've always loved music, okay?
Yeah.
Like I had a CD collection in kindergarten. I had a CD player. I would carry my CDs with me everywhere I went. I grew up with a teenage single mother, so I was
Oh,
I was alone a lot.
yeah,
And she loves music. And so that is just something that always has been pure medicine for me personally. Music, all different kinds of music. Like The Cure was my favorite band in the first grade. So
yeah.
I music has always been just there. I get chills when I listen to music. I always have like gotten the goosebumps when I listen to music. And so I started playing sound healing in 2020. I was a case manager at a treatment facility for men that are 18 years and older, and I would help them get sober off of drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
And I had my office, and my mom had bought me like a little singing bowl. And then over time, I just like got myself the whole set, and I started facilitating free sound healing sessions to all the guys that I was case managing and running groups and stuff.
Right.
And through that is when I realized the power that it had, because the response that I would get from these sessions, I was getting more of a response than 1 hour of talk therapy. Like
Wow.
the therapist would come to my office and say, "Hey, you want to do those little bowl things again for a group?" And so through that, I did that for years. was just like kind of doing it for fun on the side. I would give away free sessions like in my apartment, in my living room. I would have people come over and just like play for them. I'd just lay down, bro. I'd just be like, just lay down, let me do this for you. And this is before I even really knew what I was doing. I
Right.
taught
Yeah.
myself entirely this whole thing. And then I left my treatment job just because you hit a cap in those types of industries and you can't really progress much farther unless you own the treatment center. And I'm not trying to own a treatment center. So I left that, and thank goodness to my wonderful mother. She bought me a sound certification class. And so I got certified by Tara and Josh over in Sedona at the Sedona Crystal Temple. It was
Oh,
like 48 hours of training. I learned a lots of different just how to facilitate, even though I had already been facilitating for years. So it was like just confirming the things for me in the grand scheme of things. And then I was jobless for a while, and I
yeah.
just kind of focused on doing my sound. And then before I knew it, I got hired to be the sound healer at my first retreat.
Mhm.
I went to this retreat, had my first breath work session, and it like opened up some very intense stuff for me. Like it was not a psychedelic experience. I was completely sober on this, and like it moved so much energy that like after a week I started posting on social media, and I literally woke up one day after posting a video and I had 10,000 followers and 1 million views. And so I just like woke up the next day and I was like, "Oh, this is what I'm doing now. This is it." Like I literally felt God telling me that, like, this is this is what you're going to do now. And then my video was going viral. This was in 2022, September of 2022, and I got like a notification on TikTok that said, one of your videos is viral. You should try going live." And then I went live for my first time, and then it was like I was broke, homie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was eating like Taco Bell every night. I was not doing good. And my second daughter was about to be born. I was just like in a crisis. And then all of a sudden I get live and people start sending me money, and like they saw my jewelry and they were like, "Hey, I want one of those necklaces." And then like a bunch of people ordered necklaces. It was just like all of this abundance just started
Yeah.
coming in. And then this is the funny part that people don't realize is that when I started my social media, I never even knew what a flute was.
Really?
I had no idea that the Native American flute, like, of course I knew what a flute was, but then I started getting connected to the different yoga studios around town and doing my sound healing, like free at the park with my brother. He would do yoga first and then I would facilitate sound. So we like had this whole thing going, and I met a bunch of people through that. And I met this guy, Clark, and he was like, he had flutes and stuff, and he was like, "Dude, you should get a flute." And I was like, "Okay." So I drove to Sedona, bought a flute, and taught myself how to play it on live stream in front of my whole audience. So
So
th- so there's people that have been watching me since the first day I ever got a flute and watched me practice in the corner of my room for 8 hours a day. I would sit and I would just play for 8 hours a day. So I gained that and I became a flute master after I got on social media. Like I've been playing flute for 4.5 years or so, 5 years. And like I have flute players that have been playing for 10, 20 years, and they think I've been playing my whole life.
I think when you have creative gifts and spiritual gifts, you find that the detachment from the material world is so necessary. People look at it like, "Oh, you don't have a job," or, "Oh, you don't have this," but sometimes that's the turning point and the catalyst for some of the coolest things to happen to us.
Sure.
And so rather than it being a point of shame, it's like something that's really, really cool.
For sure. Yeah, so I bought that flute. I remember exactly the flute. It was a little third eye, A minor, Butch Hall flute that I got for like $100. And I just was like, oh man, like it felt like past life gifts coming
Mhm.
back when I was playing because it was so natural for me. Like I mastered the flute in 5 days. Like like within the first like 18 hours, I was already playing melodies and like doing all of that. And like
So did you already know how to play instruments at all? Like any instrument or
no,
like
well, the
acoustic?
bowls, I don't know how to read music. All the music that I play that you see me and hear me play on my channel is literally channeled in that moment, in that second. Like I press record, pick my flute up and just play it. I do not play songs. I do not have music knowledge. I don't know how to read music. I've never known how to read music. It's literally all just from my heart. That's it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Did you have any fear when it came to like, okay, you don't work at the treatment center anymore, and then you're like, I'm gonna hop on live. This opportunity has presented itself
You're right, for
because
sure. So let me go even a little farther back to
yeah, yeah,
explain a
yeah.
little bit more of my story. So I was a full-blown drug addict by 13 years old. I was addicted to Xanax, alcohol. I was on heroin at 16 years old. I had liver failure at 19 years old, and I started shooting up heroin and meth at 21 years old, and I was homeless, and I've been in and out of jail all through my teen years into my 20s. There was a point in time where I had a warrant in 2 different states at the same time. I I've overdosed 9 times in my life. I've been pronounced dead almost half of those times. I've had seizures. I've had withdrawals. I was like a full-blown junkie, like I was.
Yeah.
Pretty much tried every substance that a person can try. I smoked crack. I was on PCP. I was on everything. I've abused almost everything humanly possible. So the last time that I got arrested, I was 25 years old and I got out, went to treatment for the last time. And after like 40 treatment centers, and I became a behavioral health technician at the detox, then the house manager, and then the case manager of the whole treatment center. So I had pretty much spent my entire life from 13 to like 25 just high,
Yeah.
homeless, hopeless, like sick, and just that's what I did. I was in hospitals, institutions, and jail. That's like what I spent my whole life. So when I started my social media, like I absolutely did not feel worthy when people were telling me how much they love my music and they were buying my jewelry. I would cry on live stream in front of them, like thanking them so much because it felt so unfamiliar to me because
Real. Yeah.
like I was just like I was an IV heroin user for 60 years of my life. So it was very hard. And I made a lot of mistakes when I first started my social media. I did lots of just like trial and error things and made some enemies throughout the years
Yeah.
of being on social media, you know. And I was off social media from February to like May because I was absolutely miserable, my friend. I was suicidal. I relapsed very hard. I have like almost 3 months again sober.
Well,
And
congratulations on that. Yeah.
I had just posted a video on my socials like a few weeks back, pretty much saying, "Hey guys, I've literally been fighting for my life for the last 4 years on this social media. Like, I've been showing up for you guys and completely neglecting myself like entirely." And so I told him I just got out of treatment, and if you're here to support me on my sobriety, I appreciate you so much, but I'm like I've completely changed the way that I show up on my social media because it honestly made me lose my mind. I'm not gonna lie to you because I
Why do you
didn't
think that is? Like, what
because
makes you say
because
that?
I didn't necessarily like when I started posting on TikTok and stuff, I was really bored. I didn't uh think that I was gonna be able to take care of my whole family, pay my rent, pay all my bills through my music. Like,
Right.
never once did I think that that was gonna be my reality. But then I just woke up one day forced into this position of power, and I didn't know what to do with this influence. I had no idea. People were putting me on these pedestals. I'm like struggling in my sobriety. Like there were times in the beginning of my social media where I was literally relapsing and hiding it from people because I didn't want to be judged. I was a healer now. You know what I mean? People are getting readings from me and all these different things. And I felt like my outer experience was not matching what I was experiencing internally, like at all. Like I was so stressed. I had 2 babies back to back while I was working on my social media, like, working on my relationship, I don't live anywhere near my family. I'm in Arizona, they're all in Indiana, so I was very alone, and I forced myself to show up and be this person that I'm not that person.
Yeah.
I'm just an artist, regular dude. I cry all the time. I'm extremely sensitive. People were literally talking to me like I was some type of god. And it was super uncomfortable for me. I'm just like, dude, do you know that I literally used to shoot heroin? It's like,
Yeah.
and I was very honest with my channel. I would be like, guys, like I come from the gutter. Like I
But
really do.
what did you learn from that though? Because doesn't that kinda make you look at your self-worth? And did you ever have a moment where it was like, "So what that I used to do that? I'm
Absolutely.
doing something that is benefiting someone, so
Yes.
my past is."
All of the greatest, most influential artists, creatives, and people in the world usually were addicted to drugs, homeless, depressed, or they're not even here with us anymore because of that. So I had to realize like there's not one person that I personally look up to that doesn't have a similar story as me. And
Yeah,
so I started to realize that. I started to meet other healers. I don't really like that phrase too
that's
much, but because people take it the wrong way. I'm only a healer because I'm healing myself in real time.
mm,
And I'm here. I'm a mirror for people to know what's possible. I'm a mirror for others to like look at themselves. Like I'm not healing anybody. I'm not doing any of that. I have nothing to do with that. I'm just healing myself. And through that action, other people get inspired to do the same thing. So, people got to understand that the term healer, I'm not some type of doctor, man. Maybe my vibrations and my music inspire that within you, but even that, that's still not me. That's the music. I'm
yeah.
just the conduit.
Yeah, exactly. I think people because you described yourself as being, like, very sensitive, and I think a lot of people who are spiritually inclined or, refer to themselves as healers. That's the thing that makes us work together as a collective consciousness. So when
Right.
you say you're the mirror, you don't see yourself as a healer, but in essence, you actually are. Because I had to take ownership of that word for myself. Because I remember when I was changing my bio on Instagram, I put soul led integrative healer because I felt my spirit tell me to do that. But I'm like, that's corny. Like, I don't want to do that, you know? And I had to fight myself to do it. And what I came to realize is exactly what you just put into words is that when you look at us from the perspective of a collective consciousness, when we call ourselves healers, we are just a reflection and we are just a mirror. So that in itself is the healing. And
Right,
so
right,
that's
right,
how I had to kind of like get over the word like healer.
right,
You're a healer. I'm a healer. We're all healers.
right.
I just think that a lot of things, even in the spiritual community, they get misconstrued because everybody takes things and makes them super woo woo, and then it gets lost in translation.
Yes,
So, yeah.
100%, 100%.
Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, to circle back to your question on, like, if it was hard for me, like,
yeah.
100%. It was being on social media in the capacity that I was and am, because there were literally days where I was gaining 1,000 followers an hour. Literally, it was my phone did not stop, the messages did not stop, and I just, like, felt obligated to engage. I felt obligated, and I'm glad that I did, because through the way that I engage with my community, I've made some of my greatest friends of my entire life through my social media, and I have people that love me, care about me. They support anything that I do. And I know them on a first name basis because I have people that comment on every video. They've been commenting and liking and sharing every single video that I post for the last 4 years. And so to have that type of genuine support and that genuine, like, unconditional love from people, and we're helping each other simultaneously, because I'm making music and I'm healing myself through my music, and it's an extra perk that it gets to help all these other people at the same time, you know? And then I literally learned how to become an artist through my social media. I was very creatively blocked for years of my life. I was focused on just making money, going to work 6 days a week, 9 to 5. I didn't have any time to create anything, like, and so I literally learned these people, my supporters, all the people that subscribe to my stuff, like, they taught me how to be an artist. Like, they literally taught me that I can be creative and people want to see my art. They want to wear my art. They want to listen to my art. And so, not that that is required in order to be an artist, but man, it sure helps. It
Yeah.
definitely helps.
Yeah. It's amazing because once you kind of step out on that limb, you get over that fear, you end up falling in alignment just through your own authenticity. And
Right.
so you end up surrounding yourself with all these people who are on the same page as you, and it opens up even more gifts within yourself.
Right.
And so I think that that's what you just described as something I'm learning because when I was younger, I was super creative, sing, dance, act, draw, like all these different things. And as I got older, it was like, nope, you're supposed to fit in the box, like go do XYZ and, look the part, be the part, act the part.
Yeah.
And my creativity was lost and I didn't even realize it. And so it's like now that I've kind of slowly am coming back to myself, I find the same thing that you just described. People are aligning. Creativity creates community.
Right.
And so I think that our art is so important and it's how we all connect. So,
100%. Yes,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Um, and then I want to get back to your sound healing. Um, when you think of sound healing and just based on what you know and your experience, what have you seen in terms of how it can help regulate somebody's nervous system? I've seen you joke about this, and I make jokes about it too. I hate the term nervous system regulation.
But yeah.
Um, it's kind of silly. Um, but when we're talking about just kind of finding balance, what do you see plays on that?
So music is one of the 2 healing modalities that works on your nervous system immediately. It's immediate. It's sound and smell. Sound and smell are the 2 things that it takes 1 second of hearing a vibration for your mind to quiet. And so with my music, with my flutes specifically, I always have been into the different energy centers in our body, the chakras, the 7 main ones that we focus on in this society. Each key in music is associated to a different chakra. The note B is crown chakra. The A note is third eye. The G note is throat chakra. F note is heart chakra. E is solar plexus. D is sacral. And then C is root chakra. So I taught myself all this, and all my flutes are custom made. I have them all, almost all of them, tuned to 432 hertz. And it isn't some type of coincidence that almost every time I play my heart chakra for people in person in session, they start crying. It isn't a coincidence that when I hit my G note bowl, people say they feel a tingle in their throat chakra. Vibration is everywhere. Frequencies are everywhere. Everything is vibrating at a certain frequency. And so when we tap into those frequencies, our bodies will react. They will, if you're open to the medicine, it will react. And also, vibration and frequency isn't always going to bring a positive reaction.
Right.
You might have some negativity stored in your solar plexus. I start playing the solar plexus and it's going to start moving. And sometimes it does not feel good. And so people will associate that with, oh, this is bad. It makes me feel bad. But like, that's good.
Yeah.
That is,
You would. like, vibrate that out of you.
Right. The only bad thing about that is your inability to let it pass through you. That's the only negative aspect about that, is that you're not allowing it to move away from you freely, because their emotions, their energy, emotion, energy in motion. That is what emotion is. And if we do not allow our emotions to pass through us, our energy centers are going to be blocked. You're going to feel anxious. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel all these different things. So I understand that there are certain sounds that people just, you can't even have a thought with certain sounds. And that's how I know that it's doing exactly what it needs to be doing. I find that through the years of me being a sound facilitator, binaural beats are a type of frequency that 99% of people, it makes them hit the most tranquil and blissful state almost every time within seconds, because it works on both parts of your brain simultaneously. That's
Yeah,
why. It's
yeah,
two different frequencies pretty much meeting each other, and you're hearing both of them at the same time in both of your ears. And so it's literally taking a nervous system and making it be quiet. It's
yeah.
forcing you to be
I was
com-
gonna say it's like forcing balance because,
yes.
I'm not sure if you are familiar with EMDR they use in
Yes,
therapy.
I've done it. Yes, I've done
Yeah,
it.
same.
Yeah.
And so you're doing the same thing. You're stimulating both hemispheres of the brain, which we don't always do. Usually we're thinking more analytically and logically, but you're forcing your brain to stimulate both hemispheres and it creates the balance.
Right.
And so when you do sound, it's obviously it's doing that too. So,
Right.
is there anything like when you do sound healing sessions, you mentioned the heart, but are there any like physical manifestations that you see happen often? I don't know if that makes
Yeah, so there is
sense.
yeah, so a session with me, most of the time, unless you request otherwise, um I also facilitate trauma release breath work. I have found that the combination of those two, breath first, sound right after,
Yeah.
it's like preparing your body to receive the vibrations in a completely different way versus just going, laying down, and getting the sound. So in my sessions, I like to think of myself as a shadow worker. I help people with the deepest, darkest parts of themselves. And so in sessions that I facilitate, there is a lot of hysterical crying, screaming, and just like involuntary movements of different parts of your body. But after that, people usually fall asleep. They just fall asleep because, especially in this day and age, everybody is in such a chaotic survival mode these days. And there's been times where I ask people, how you doing? And then they just start crying because they've been craving for somebody to ask them that for months, years. Something that I experience a lot in sessions is people will do this a lot. They'll go, like that. It's
Like
like,
deep
yes,
sigh.
they do that a lot. Like just like the, like it's like the release, the calm is like reaches them because I never plan sessions ever. I don't even know what flute I'm gonna play. Once everybody's in the room, sometimes it's one on one. That's when all the downloads come, and then my guides will tell me they need that one right now. They need that one right now, and so I just it's in real time. I'm just channeling. It's like a reading, but with music. You know, when you channel a tarot reading or an oracle card for somebody, I'm doing the same with my instruments. I'm just channeling exactly what your nervous system needs to absorb as far as vibration and sound goes. And usually everybody is like, wow, what was that one that you played? That one really made me feel something right here. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that was the solar plexus flute. So it's like it all like coincides like every time it's over.
Yeah. So when you do your sessions, another thing I wanted to touch on is meditation because you were talking about like the breathing. Do you ever feel like in sessions people struggle to just sit in stillness? And if so, like what do you think that is? Like what do you think the reasoning behind that is?
So I have not experienced a person like that in a while, but and that's only because I only do sessions with people that reach out to me, and the people that reach out to me are the ones that want it. But I used to do sessions for treatment centers.
Yeah.
And so not everybody, that's part of the group. And so there was a lot of times when people would just not be receptive to it at all. And so what I find happens there is that you're creating more blockages. You create more blockages for yourself by fighting what is there. You can't turn your ears off. You can interpret. People that interpret what is happening tend to have a hard time with receiving what I'm trying to give them. Like, you cannot interpret anything that is happening in a session with me. Once you do that, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. Like like when they ask me, "Man, when you were chanting, what were you saying?" It's like, "Bro, I don't know. I don't know."
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Because
not.
you're in a flow state.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just meant to be felt. Light language is not meant to be. That's something that people struggle with the most, I feel, the
yeah,
light
I was gonna
language.
say,
Yeah,
talk about that a little bit. Can you also touch on staying present in the moment? Because when you start creating those blockages by trying to analyze everything, you lose your presence. You lose your ability to stay in that moment.
right.
If you could talk about how relevant and important that is, the significance of staying present, and then a little bit more on the light.
So presence is right now. That is the only thing that we have. It's the most important thing that we have here and now. When we are focusing on what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow, we are literally losing all of our opportunities that are presenting themselves to us right in this moment. So to do that takes energy away from you. Thinking about the past, what you should have done, what you could have done, what you should do, what you would do. It's so important to be in the now, especially when you're doing spiritual work, because spiritual work only happens right now.
Yeah,
It didn't happen in the past. It might not happen in the future. Spiritual work and release only is in the right now. So a lot of us, I am guilty of this as well all the time, but I'm aware of it. I'm
yeah,
aware that I'm not present. And then I ask myself, why am I so fearful right now? Fear is the main reason why anybody is not present. So if you have the awareness to ask yourself, why am I scared right now?
yeah,
That in itself will bring you back to the present. So,
yeah.
but not everyone wants to ask themselves that. A lot of people don't even realize that they're in fear.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense because I've always thought, well, when you're thinking of the past, that's how you get sucked into depression.
Right.
When you go forward, that's where the anxiety comes in.
Right.
Well, what are those things both tie back to? It is
Fear.
fear. Is
Fear.
your fear of the past repeating itself in some
Yes.
traumatic experience, or you're
Yes.
fearful of the what if, you know?
Exactly.
And so,
Exactly.
yeah, I think that definitely just in itself creates blockages like we talked about earlier.
Sure.
Um, and then speaking of anxiety, so when people get in these moments where they start thinking too far into the future and they start to kind of spiral, or even like you mentioned, having issues with like relapse or anything like that, how do you help yourself reconnect to the present moment to stay grounded so that you don't drift?
So for me personally, it depends on the severity, like the anxiety that I'm feeling. Like um breath work is always the way. I feel breath work is always the way. Regulating your breathing will, if not 100%, take it down by 50%. Because when we're in a state of anxiousness, our breathing is the first thing to become unregulated.
Yeah.
And when our breathing is unregulated, we become unregulated. So, but not everybody wants to stop and do breath work. you know?
Yeah.
I have utilized tapping,
Mm.
affirmations, writing a gratitude list. Gratitude literally is the medicine of the gods.
Yeah, it
Thinking
literally
about
changes your brain.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
changes your brain. So, put it going for a walk in nature. I mean, it's like the tools are all free. People
yeah,
just don't wanna use them, and I know this from experience. Like, I there were days where I was literally sitting in my sound studio with 50 flutes, 7 singing bowls, speakers, all these different things, and I'm just sitting there in anxiety because I didn't even have the capacity to, like, care for myself. Like, we forget to care for ourselves. We forget to, like, take a moment and be like, ask ourselves if we are okay. Like, check in with your inner child. That
yes,
is
and that
like that's
yeah,
it. That's the
that's another thing that I like that you do is, you'll come across some of your reels and it's like, "Hey, stop," you know? And I think that's so important, just because I think modern society and modern life has us just spinning nonstop.
yes, spinning.
Um, yeah, like, literally, and so do you ever have a moment where you notice, like you said, you got to where you're at a point of burnout? Is there something that looking back in retrospect now, um, where you can be like, okay, it's time to maybe step back and take care of myself a little more? Like, is there a first sign that you notice with yourself or that you
For
could
sure,
offer to other people to
for
kind of,
sure. When I start to become overly critical of the people around me,
okay,
and I start to just see all the flaws in them, and I
mm,
start to just get irritated at people for just being people, that is when
that's
I
your advocate.
yeah, that isn't when I need to, like, take a step back 100%. I need to reevaluate because the only reason why I am doing that to them is because that's all I'm focusing on about myself,
Right.
is my flaws, why I'm not good enough, all these different things, and we project. That's what humans
Yeah,
do. We
right.
project. Unless you are consciously choosing not to, everybody is projecting everything onto everybody all the time.
Yeah.
Always.
I'm a big believer that when we are criticizing or judging other people, or even just our perception of reality in general, it's a reflection of our internal state,
100%.
just in like our shadow self. So,
Right.
if I go through a period where I start having jealousy issues, then what is going on inside of me? You
Exactly.
know? And so
Exactly.
I think a lot of times when people are battling something or dealing with something, even when it comes to like relationships, whether it be a friendship or, a romantic relationship, whatever is causing tension, I think instead of looking at that person as they're the problem, start to ask yourself, what's
Right.
going on inside of me?
Right.
And so I think that's something that gets missed a
Right.
lot. Um, I
Whatever
wanted
is
to,
lacking, whatever I see lacking in a relationship, friendship, in a conversation, that lack started in me first.
right.
It started here first, and I am just taking the lack that I am experiencing and I am pushing it and projecting it onto all of those different connections and situations.
Yep, and that ties back to what you mentioned about the whole healer conversation, that you're a mirror. And so then it's like when we fall out of alignment, we wanna step back because you don't wanna reflect
Right.
the ugliness or the shadow to the world. The other thing that I wanted to touch on is we mentioned your sense of humor a little bit. How important do you think it is to laugh at your own mistakes when you're healing and working toward healing?
It's
'Cause
so important. It's
yeah,
so important. It's like the most important thing. I
yeah,
cannot take myself so serious. People should stop taking themselves so
yeah,
serious. Like, we are all human and we all have had dark times in our life. We've all hurt people. We've all made mistakes, all of those things. And like, it's funny, dude. It's funny
yeah,
because we all like, it only becomes not funny when you're aware of it and you're just choosing not to change. That's the
right.
only time it becomes not funny. But if I'm
Yeah,
actively working on myself and, like, bettering my life and being the best person, man, father, partner, friend, son, cousin, uncle that I could be, then dude, I can laugh at the past. I can because I don't even resonate with that anymore. It's
Exactly.
it's hilariously crazy some of the things that I used to think. It's like
Yeah.
hilarious. It's psycho funny that I
Yeah.
used to act the ways that I used to act because I didn't know any better. But now I know better and I have the right and I have the space to just laugh at myself because that person wasn't wrong back then. He was just misinformed.
Yeah.
Complete.
A good indicator of growth for sure.
Okay.
When you look back at all of the times that you struggled, is there a common factor that took place for you to want to rebuild or know that you needed to rebuild?
Um, Codependency,
Okay.
relying on other people to the point where I just like felt like I couldn't even live without people, specifically like romantic relationships.
Mhm.
All of my romantic relationships over the years always ended in me feeling like I couldn't even do things for myself. And if they left, I had nothing because I would pour all of my just dependency onto this one person and not even only just romantic relationships. Like that happened with my mom, that happened with friends. And so there are many times when I was just like, man, like, dude, you got to be more self sufficient. Like
Yeah,
you
so
cannot rely on the validation and like the opinions of others. I used to rely so much on the validation and opinions of my mom, my girlfriend, my all these other people but I just hated myself. And their
yeah,
validation wasn't even helping. It was just like it was like a drug. It was literally like a
yeah.
drug. So, yeah, that's how that manifested for me.
So what did you realize that you had to kinda, like, change about your beliefs of yourself? Like, what did you have to rewrite instead of saying, "I'm Cody and I'm codependent and I'm not valuable unless somebody else says I am." What kind of affirmations or what did you have to tell yourself? What lessons did you have to give to yourself
It
to
was really it was really like for me, I have to do something and finish it. Like, I
Okay.
used to be terrified to, like, go to court by myself or,
What was the
or,
fear?
like, just like that I needed somebody to advocate for me. Like, me alone wasn't enough. Like, Cody as himself wasn't enough. I needed my mom to be there to let people know that I have somebody that cares about me. But, like, I needed to go there to care about myself and show people that I cared about me. Like, my mom wasn't gonna like it was helpful. Obviously, we all want our mom around, you know, if she's around, we all want her around and stuff. But like and with money was such a huge block for me. That is like I literally didn't think I could make money on my own. I always just was borrow from my mom or get loans from people because I felt unworthy to like make my own money. And so a lot of my blockages and all those things, because I have a huge father wound. My father wound is huge, and people with it's I'm in the spiritual space and in the psychological space, but I think both of those really do go hand in hand, spirituality and psychology. They
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You can't really have one without the other. When
Yeah.
somebody has a large father wound, that creates very large blockages for money flow.
Mhm.
Huge blockages for money flows.
The South Node in astrology represents the father, and it also can represent financial drain, so that's interesting.
Yeah, yes. So with that,
Mhm.
when like you receive like I believe I believe this to be true. I know this to be true actually. You
Mhm.
need both parents as a child. You do.
Yeah.
Not necessarily your biological parents, but you need a dad and a mom. You do. That love you. You receive masculine love way different than you do feminine love. I had way too much feminine love. I was raised by 8 women who were stressed all the time,
Yeah,
overworking, and to be in their masculine and being both roles. So I grew up just seeing that. And so with the money blocks and just like getting into my power, I had to rewrite a lot of things that I thought to be true. Like you have to struggle in order to make money. You have to be tired. You got to overwork yourself. Cause that's what I saw my whole life is all the women in my life working 50, 60 hours a week and still not having enough, whatever enough is. My grandma used to always say, "Oh, we can't afford that." You know, those are the types of phrases that had in my head, but like, we can afford that. I can afford that. I can make money. Money comes to me easily. I'm a money magnet. I make money every day now. And so I always have money. That's something I've been working on the last few months because I took a break from social media and that's where I was getting all my money. So the money flow kind of stopped, but I wasn't enjoying the way that I had to make money. I was overworking myself. I was draining my energy to make money. And then when you receive money in that way, it holds a different energy.
right.
It holds a completely different energy. So like money now, you know, I'll sit and sew for 18 hours, chilling, listening to music with my incense. And then I sell that hoodie and I'm like, yes, I, I didn't drain myself at all
Yeah,
doing
because
that.
again, money comes
Yes,
easily.
it comes
Yeah,
easily for me. I don't need to like, I'm not desperate. I used to be desperate for money. Like, oh man, can you please let me borrow 20 bucks, dude? Like when the universe only reflects that back to you.
I was
Like,
gonna say it feels what you're like, we talk about
yes,
love and healing, it feels the frequency of desperation, and
right,
so what happens with that, everything becomes restricted because there's tension there,
right,
and so once you
right.
release and say, "I can receive," abundance
Yes,
flows, then it comes with ease,
yes.
like you can literally feel.
One of the biggest affirmations that I do that has changed my life is when, because there's times when I don't have a lot of money. There's times where I got 20 bucks, but in those
Cycle,
times,
yeah.
say somebody asks me, "Hey, you want to go out to eat?" You know what the normal response for the average person would be? "Oh,
Oh,
I'm broke right now. I
yeah.
can't afford that." No, 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 no. I'm in between blessings currently.
That's a
I'm
good one.
I'm in between blessings currently. Hit me up in a
Yeah,
week. I'll be able to go. And
wow.
guess what? That week, I got enough money to buy your dinner and mine.
That's a good one.
So
I'm
that's
gonna have to use
yeah,
that.
I'm just in between blessings right now, my friend. That's it. Like I'm not broke. I'm not spending money I don't have. I'm not doing none of that. You know? So in between blessings, like even saying it right now, it's like, I can feel the blessing on the way after I
Oh, yeah.
say it. It's like, "Oh, word, you're waiting for me?"
I'm claiming that with you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, kinda tying back into the sound too, do you ever have moments where you use sound healing sessions for yourself, just to, like,
Absolutely.
rebuild that trust and
Absolutely.
to pick
Yes.
yourself back up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the great part about that is, I utilize my YouTube videos for that. Those videos are
Cool.
all for me. Like, I do
Good.
hour-long sessions on YouTube, and
Yeah.
those are for me, and I just share them. Like, when I sit and I play flute for an hour, I almost forget that the camera's recording. So, those ones I have a lot of it's my meditation, man. Like,
Mhm.
the the neural and the brain demands that requires playing an instrument.
Yeah.
I'm literally in the gym for my brain when I do that.
Yeah.
So I process a lot of stuff. I think about my upcoming week. My breathing becomes regulated after like 10 minutes of playing, you know. Flute is breath work. Woodwind instruments is breath work. So, you know, I start to get the tingles. there's never been a day where I sit and play flute for an hour that I don't have the greatest day after that. You know, that
Yeah,
that just doesn't exist. Like, that
yeah,
just doesn't exist. Like, my vibration becomes so high, and I think that's why I do so good on YouTube as well, because people
mhm.
feel that energy in those videos. Not to like brag or anything, but I am one of the only musician sound healers on YouTube that do not loop their videos. You are getting a full hour of playing. You're not getting 10 minutes that's just looped for an hour.
It's interesting, I didn't
I
realize that
I am
people do that, yeah.
playing. It is it is authentic playing for a whole hour. I play 8 to 9 different flutes. There is not one other person on YouTube that does that. So,
Yeah,
I think there's, like, the handpan guy, Yatao. You know the handpan guy?
I'm not
Well,
familiar
he
with him,
he's the
no.
one he's one of my inspirations, and his name's Molte Martin, and he
Multi-mart.
Molte Martin, and he's the handpan king. He's literally the handpan master. If you type in the word handpan on YouTube, you will see this amazing dude. He's bald, and he's usually in the forest. He's from Germany, and he has his handpan. And then I also love Chantress Seba.
Yes,
She is
she's so good.
Oh man, I hope
Yeah.
to collaborate with her one day in my life, but he and her are my favorite. They're my favorites. There's also a guitar woman named Diana Lopez that plays hour-long, like, healing guitar. I love her too. But there's not many other musicians that have hour-long sessions that aren't just looped. A lot of people don't notice that, but I notice
Yeah,
the
I didn't realize it. It
Yeah,
makes sense as you say it, but I would have
yeah.
never thought that that's what was going on in
Right.
music.
And not that there's anything wrong with that, but
Yeah, but
it's the same melody over and over and over again. I'm trying to hear something different for the whole hour.
I think you're
People
getting more depth when you do that.
The longer the video is, the more deeper the playing gets. Now,
Yeah,
if I'm stopping at 10 minutes, I'm restarting that energy and then going again, then restarting it, and then going up again and then restarting it. Now, if I keep going consistently for the full hour, by that 50-minute mark, oh, we're in flow zone and we're like
yeah,
getting it done. So
mhm,
that's the way I like to see it. And people comment that on my videos. They say, man, thank you so much for not looping your videos. I really appreciate that you just play authentically for an hour. And I took that to heart. I was like, oh, dude, I am doing that. And then I started to notice the whole looping thing because it's just
mhm,
easy. It's the easy way out, you know?
yeah. So you talked about, having your second daughter. How has becoming a father changed your relationship with staying present? I know that you already have quite a bit of experience with staying present, but how has that evolved it even more?
Children demand your presence.
Yeah,
They demand it, and they will feel when you're not more than you will if you are not present around them. Like,
right.
you know, to play dolls or to play with the toys and just do all that, like, that shit requires presence. A lot of parents absolutely hate playing with toys with their kids because it forces them to get out of their head. You got to get
Yeah.
out of your head. Like, and so, like, I have 2 daughters and 1 son. And
Oh,
so
okay.
I have a 9-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old. My daughters are the older, my son is the younger. And so, like, each child requires a different kind of presence. They
Yeah,
do. Like, my oldest, Briella, she's 9. She wants me to show up in a completely different way than my 3-year-old, you know? My 3-year-old daughter is okay with me just sitting by her and watching a show. But if I'm
yeah.
on my phone
Oh, they
while we're
know.
watching a show, she's not enjoying it as much because
Right.
I'm not watching with her. I'm not even there. My son, he wants to get thrown around and, you know what I mean, play fight and do all that,
Yeah,
you know? That requires my whole body. That requires my whole body. I can't have my phone in my hand when I'm
yeah,
picking them up and throwing them up in the air and doing all this stuff. So, and also, like, having daughters as a man, and even having a son as a man, and as a man that did not have a father growing up at all, I didn't have very many close relationships with masculine energy my whole life.
Yeah.
Like my grandfather is one of them, but he is a terrible alcoholic. So like
Yeah.
me and him related in those ways. And so it wasn't the typical like father son. I love my grandfather for sure, but
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't, take after his footsteps per se, in a lot of ways. But, having children will bring out a whole nother layer of shadow work that you didn't even know you had to bring out. And doing shadow work requires your presence. You have to be there for that, or else it will be there for you, you know?
Exactly.
So there's like children trigger you as a parent. They do.
Yes.
Like,
So
I mean,
that's another thing. Emotional regulation. What has it taught you
it taught
as
me.
far
Oh man. So you have to have a level of awareness with your emotional regulation when it comes to your kids, because the energy in your household,
Mm.
the first 7 years of their life, pretty much
Oh,
shapes their entire life as adults. I grew up in a very high stress environment. I grew up in panic mode, in a different place every night. I was at a different babysitter every night. I moved around so much as a kid, and I suffered the consequences of this as an adult. I absolutely did. I'm still healing from my childhood every day. I don't think I ever won't be. I don't think I ever won't be, but I and I'm not perfect at this. I get angry, I yell, I do that stuff. But the difference here is that I'm like, damn, I will go reflect after that. And I usually am like, sorry about that. I do. I didn't have adults to apologize to me when they were wrong. That's
yeah.
a really big thing that me and my lady, we do our best to like apologize. Like when our daughter is like, hey, that really hurt my feelings, we're like, damn, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. A lot
Yeah.
of, I grew up with like just the complete opposite, like you just listen to what I say because I'm the parent, what I say goes. And that causes a lot of, I don't know, just confusion. Like,
It can cause some trauma. I heard, "I took you in this world, I'll take you out."
yeah, it's like, oh, come on, So, it's that energy. I want to be my children's friend. I don't want to just be like the authoritarian. You just listen to what I say, do what I say it right when I say it. I mean, please listen to me, and you're going to be disciplined because I'm your parent, and it was God gave me this job to take care of you, but like you're still a person. You still
Yeah.
have a personality. You still deserve explanations for things. Like if I tell you to do something and you're not sure why, I'm going to tell you why I want you to do it.
Yeah.
Like I do my best, but like if you're going to ask me why every single time I want you to clean your room, then it's just like
Well, that's
just
different. Yeah.
just
It's
clean
like,
your room.
okay, getting a little
Yeah,
excessive.
just clean your room because I need
Uh,
you to clean your room. Right.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's really good to be a parent who has the emotional regulation and capacity to kinda go back and look and say in retrospect that,
Right.
"Hey, sorry, I shouldn't have done this." Because my oldest son is 12, and I look back to a couple years ago, even where it's like I have to realize, and I think a lot of parents, we have to realize, yes, these are our children, but they are still their own person too.
Right. Right.
And I think there should be a line of respect going both ways. Like, yes,
For sure.
we're the elders, we're their parents, but we should respect them as an individual too.
For sure. 100%.
Um, so when you talk about your family and everything that we just discussed, what makes you the proudest about the man that you've become?
That is a really good question, man. That I have taken action to right my wrongs immediately.
Yeah.
Like when I saw my character defects and I took action and I went and got myself help immediately because of most of the men in my life, like my dad, he didn't do that. He
Yeah.
didn't do that. He just allowed his trauma to completely take over his life. And
Yeah.
like he could have helped himself and he could have healed. He could have chose to heal. So I guess the short answer for you would be that I'm so proud of myself that I chose to heal and that I've
Yeah,
continue to choose healing every day so that when my kids are adults, they don't
yeah,
just resent me and they don't just like have all these different things that they wish I would have done differently. Of course, there's going to be things,
yeah,
but the main idea in the forefront of their brain is I want them to be like, man, my dad took care of me the best that he could. Because I
yeah,
don't feel that way about my dad. I genuinely do not feel he took care of me the best way that he could at all.
yeah,
But he could have, and he had the options. And, I'm not going to discount his trauma and stuff, but like, we all got trauma, man.
oh, yeah,
We all do. It's not an excuse to be a shitty person. It's not an excuse to not show up for your kids. I think one of the biggest sins that you can make as a man is not being there for your kids.
yeah,
Like I lose all respect for any man that I meet if I know that he has kids out there that he's not taking care of.
yeah,
I just lose
mm,
complete respect for you. It's going to be hard for me to be your friend unless you have you had it with some crazy girl and she's like keeping them from you. That's a
yeah,
complete, if you're actively trying, that's different. But if the mother of your children is like, hey, we need your help, and you're not helping, like, dude, I'm sorry, I can't fuck with you. Like,
yeah,
like, I'm just sorry, I can't.
yeah. So do you give yourself grace then? Like, say you do mess up, and because you have enough self-awareness to take the accountability to go do what you need to do, and have you learned to, like, not get down on yourself so much so that you're like, you know what? Yeah, I messed up, but hey, I'm doing something about
Yeah, I've gotten a lot better on that, and being completely sober,
it. Yeah.
um, because I was like pretty much for my whole like my two babies, I was high their whole life. I was stoned or just like not present, just like doing the bare minimum, and so I was still here, but
Yeah.
not really. I was just
I
smoking.
wanna Yeah, pause and take a moment just to tell you, like, I really appreciate your vulnerability in talking about a lot of this because these are tough topics, and I actually lost custody of 4 of my children. It's a story that I am still kinda coming out about and unfolding, but my mental health was not okay, and I had a lot going on, and
Mhm.
so it's a very, very vulnerable topic to discuss
Yeah.
because the way it was put to me is that when we show up and be vulnerable, it's not about us, it's to help other people, but not
Yes.
everyone will meet our vulnerability with care.
Right. Right.
And so I
Right.
wanted to stop and express
Yeah. Of
appreciation for you doing that because
course.
it's helped a lot of people who are listening. Um, in talking about that, how do you balance like staying emotionally available and having that self-care, but also still being able to take care of your family and be emotionally available for them?
So for me, it's huge for me to have a community
Yeah.
of men specifically. Like I have a sponsor in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. I work the steps. I'm actively working the steps. I have meetings that I go to. Like that community takes care of me, fills me up so that I can go and take care of my Amina, come here. Oh, I wanted you to meet my daughter, but she left.
Oh,
Come
okay.
here, buddy. Here's my son right here. This is perfect. This is my son. Makai, say hi, buddy.
Hey, dude. Hi. What's your name?
So what's your name, buddy? That's Machias.
Caius.
Yeah.
Hi. Aw. My youngest son is 2. He's at daycare at the moment,
Oh,
but
nice.
hi. What do you got? That's so cool.
Dolphins.
Aw. I love that hair, man.
All right, buddy. All right, buddy. Go to your room, okay?
See you later.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a community is so important to me. Like
Yeah.
having a space where I can be poured into and people are just like, we're just all there relating to each other. And, just like, that's my biggest thing. Having close friends, community. Going in and playing my flute with no video going, just playing for myself and just practicing in that sense and just like um getting time away with my lady with just me and her
Yeah, that's
is like
important for a relationship.
really
Yeah.
really important. So, we go to movies. I go to movies by myself a lot. That's my safe space, going to the movies by myself. So yeah, but the main thing is definitely just like my groups, my meetings, just being in a room full of other people who relate to me. That's really important to not be feeling alone. A lot of men are so alone and so just scared and fearful, but they just go to work every day and they just come home and then they're angry all night. It's like I'm not going to be that dad that's like just like angry and resentful at my family because I have to take care of them, because that's pretty much what it is. And so like
Well,
yeah, yeah, that's my answer for sure.
yeah, balance is definitely important. So we're getting close to the end, so I'm gonna ask you a few more questions and then do like a little rapid fire.
Okay.
Um, so 2 things I wanted to ask you before we close out. What do you think people are truly searching for under all of the noise and the distraction? Because a lot of people, instead of wanting to heal, or I don't want to say wanting to heal, but instead of focusing on healing or self care, they choose to keep themselves distracted because it's the easier thing to do.
Mm.
But what do you think, besides the general answer of like healing, that people are ultimately searching for?
Man, that is such a good question. I feel like most people are searching for the gift of being understood, but
Mm.
where they're missing it is they're not even taking the time to understand themselves. So there's the I don't understand myself. I'm going to project that onto everybody else. They don't understand me either. So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
That's beautiful. I feel like that's a common thing. Everyone is seeking to be understood.
Right.
And a lot of times we all feel misunderstood. So, um, I actually was writing the other day and I was thinking that we all seek to be understood, but I don't know that we're supposed to be, you know?
Right. Right.
Um,
Exactly.
and then I don't think that people even realize that when you don't understand somebody, good, just
Good.
accept them. You don't have to understand them.
Right. Right.
So, what do you want people to feel after being in your presence or hearing your music?
I want them to feel so empowered that they just want to be their most authentic self. If somebody is done hanging out with me or listens to my music, oh, I hope that they just feel like they want to go and be themselves and
Yeah.
just fully, unapologetically, just go do that weird thing. You know what I mean? Do whatever. Like, I just want to inspire people to be the best version of themselves, and the best version of ourselves is the authentic one. So, yeah, that's the only thing I hope for and wish for anytime somebody talks to me or anytime somebody is even comes across a video of mine. Just like be calm and just be in your body and be okay with being you.
Well, I think you're definitely aligned in your purpose because I think that's what you offer and that's what you project. So I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Yes.
Um, so rapid fire, just in closing, one sound that instantly calms you.
Oh, the Daduke.
What
The
is the
Dad-
d-
the Daduke is a double reeded Armenian flute that I don't have yet. It's You spell it Duduk, and I actually am saving up money to buy one of those pretty soon here. And oh man, it's just
look that up? I haven't heard that.
oh, the Duke music is just so it's so deep and like yeah, it's the best thing ever and you'll love it. It's my favorite woodwind instrument that I don't know how to play yet,
Yet.
but
Well,
I
if you
am
pick
gonna
up the
be
flute, like you
yes.
did, everybody.
Yes.
Music or silence?
It depends. Cause silence is music.
That's fair. That's fair.
Music needs silence, you know?
Yeah.
Like in sound healing sessions, sometimes the silent part is where a lot of
Oh,
the
yeah.
So it depends. Yeah, it depends, but mostly music, I'll be honest.
Mostly
Yeah,
music.
yeah,
Okay. A
yeah.
practice that changed your life.
A practice that changed my life, gratitude list every day.
Yes. What presence feels like physically?
What presence feels like physically.
I know that's a
Being
good
able being able to, like, communicate with somebody without talking. I have a best friend. Me and him are always so present with each other. We can just look at each other and start laughing, and we know
yeah. You
exactly.
got some friends like that. That's funny.
Yes, yes. So,
Um,
yeah.
one thing fatherhood taught you?
Man, there is nothing that comes close to the love you have for your kids.
Yeah.
There's just
It's a different kind of
nothing,
thing. Yeah.
nothing huge. I look at my kids sometimes and I just start crying because I'm like, "Oh my god, I just I've never felt that in my life." So they unconditional love is the most.
Unconditional love.
Yeah,
Yeah. A belief you had to release.
a belief I had to release that I had to be struggling in order for people to care about me.
Okay. Wow. That could we could go down a rabbit hole with that one, but we
Yes,
won't
yes,
right
yes.
now. One word for your comeback story.
Oh, alchemy.
Mm, that's a good one.
Alchemy, real life alchemy, my friend.
Last but not least, what peace feels like to you now?
What peace feels like to me now is knowing that I have nothing to hide from anybody and I can be myself and I can and this one's a little funny, but I could go and get whatever type of food I want to eat.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm big on
Yeah.
I'm big on food, like, if
Foodie.
I yes, like, if I want curry and I could just go eat curry, oh, that's peace to me, man, truly it is, like,
Funny.
yeah, because I've, like, a lot of trauma around, like, having no money and just wanting to eat certain things, and so I'm in the place now where I can afford to literally go and get any type of food that I want at any time, and that gives me so much peace, truly.
That's amazing because it's like some of the smallest things sometimes.
Yes, yes,
Well, I wanted to say thank you. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for rescheduling with me 500 times.
yes, yes, of
Um,
course.
very, very grateful. I really think this episode's going to help a lot of people, and I really mean that. Um, can you let us know where people can find you if they want to hear
Yeah,
your music, check out your
yeah,
page,
for sure.
plug all of your stuff too, like your
Okay.
clothing. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, so Instagram, I'm on there a lot. I post, like, everything. That's, like, my hub, the
yeah.
Instagram.
What's your ad?
Cody Joshua _ healing sounds. And then we got I'm not really on TikTok anymore, I'll be honest, but that's Sound Healer Cody on there. YouTube, Cody the Sound Healer. And then Facebook, Cody Joshua Healing Sounds. And I'm on all streaming platforms. I have multiple albums available, all different types of music. Cody Joshua on all those. And then if you want custom clothing from me, you can also find that on my Instagram. Well, you got to message me because it's a personal
Yeah,
experience and I got to talk to you and we're going to plan it out together. So,
awesome.
yeah, that's pretty much all of it, man.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Blessings to you and your
Yeah.
family.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Talk to you soon.
Great.